Hey, all my fantasy football friends. Welcome to the Multiple First Dynasty channel here on YouTube. This is Tony, Stash X on the Sleeper app, coming at you with another draft breakdown video. Today, we will be taking a look at the Universal Experts Elite Dynasty. This is me right here with the Buzz Lightyear logo, and we're going to be going through and breaking down all of the trades made through this draft process. We're going to be looking at my team, looking at the other teams in the league. Of course, we ran the multiple first dynasty channel strategy, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 2023 first round picks. Lucky number 7. We got 323 second round picks. Nothing extra in 24, and I'm not worried about these thirds, so I'm probably going to end up trading them off. This is how that team landed. Those you want to see, but we're going to jump into that in a few minutes. One of the focus of the video today is trades, so I focus on every video, but in another league I'm in, the Ghost League High Rollers, I had a trade proposal. I had someone offer me two 2023 first round picks in a deal. So you know me, my ears immediately perked up. I got real excited seeing something like that. This is the team right here that I'm working with, and the trade that was proposed was two 23 firsts in exchange for Mac Jones, Rashod Bateman, and Jerry Jeudy. He sent me a 2-for-3 type deal. I wanted to make a video today to cover my process in going through a trade. I have no idea what I'm going to do with this trade as far as counters go. So I was going to walk through my process on the video today so you can kind of see where things go. Hopefully we can complete a deal before the end of the video. But this is that team. You know, I already have 423 first round picks. So, I want to add more 23 first. The only kind of hiccup in the deal is that the picks are from a couple of the better teams in the league for sure. We'll take a look at the dynasty ranker for this league. So this is the Ghost League High Rollers. You know, I initially told the guy, Will is his name, Will 500K. That's a little rich for me, and he countered and he took Jeudy out of the deal and he replaced it with Rashod Bateman. So he countered himself, which was a very nice thing to do. And I haven't sent him anything back yet, but I did tell him I would send something. So this is what Dynasty Ranker has to say about that league. This is the guy we're working with. The only reason I bring this up is so you can more easily see the rosters of the various teams in the league. Um, right now I don't have a fourth quarterback or third quarterback. If I were to move Mac Jones, I don't have a QB3. I don't think Bailey Zappi really counts. And Will, as you can see, he only has two QBs as well. He's probably not feeling super confident about Wentz, so he's trying to make a deal. I respect it. So the two 23 firsts he's offering me are his own, and one from this guy right here, Risk Taker. So it does say Risk Taker's 12th in this league. I don't buy that. He's definitely not one of the weaker teams in the league by no means. It's just when you don't have any picks, like Risk Taker doesn't have any picks, then Dynasty Ranker is going to undervalue you as a team. So it's going to overvalue you if you do have a lot of picks. So that's why I'm like at the top. Um, but yeah, he's got Herbert, Watson, Brady. I mean, that's a lot of points to the quarterback position. Javonte, Jacobs, Fournette, like that's pretty good RBs. Keenan, Gabe Davis, Robert Woods, Lazard is going to be worth a lot more than this number pretty quickly. Jacoby Myers, Russell Gage, like this is James Crowder. This is good points. Not the sexiest players certainly, but he's got a lot of points here. I think Kazicki, Jonu, Gronk. I think Kazicki's probably a top 10 tight end this season. So, Risk Taker, I would say, is at least a playoff contender. Will is as well a playoff contender. So, jump into my conversation I've been having with Will. He goes, so he sends me this counter, this self counter of his. Mac, Bateman, Peirce, 223 first, him and Risk Taker. Right here. I go, hey, man, I wanted to walk through our conversation so you guys can really see what a negotiation looks like from my perspective, the way I negotiate. Do you use any trade calcs or tools? He says, I don't. Am I way off? I bet the calc would give me back would give back 223 first round value. I'm like that. Send a counter what you think 223 firsts are worth. So I say, you're not way off. I took Mac in the middle of the fourth round. I did at the 405. That's where he's ranked in most calculators. It's hard for me to move a QB and go down to 2, just having 2 on my roster. I'll do it, but the move has to be worthwhile. Bateman is a late 7th round pick, ATM since the Hollywood trade. That's about where I would make a 1-for-1 swap on 23 first. That's true. Bateman's probably even better than that and climbing right now. Also, both you and Risk Taker are among the stronger teams in this league for 22, so I have to value the picks as mid to late. I still want them. I'll put something together here. So that's what we're going to do, is we're going to put something together. The thing you want to take away from this negotiation so far is that I'm not dumping on his offer by any means. I'm just trying to be very transparent with him and tell him exactly what my thought process is. I'm not hiding anything. I want him to understand where I'm coming from when I send him a trade. This is how I got to where I'm at. You know, it's not a problem he doesn't use calcs. Most people don't. I don't know. Actually, it's like 50-50 split out there. But I'm not going to behold to any individual calculator ranking anyway. The only reason I asked him if he does is because that's the main calculator I would use to try to find. I would try to find a deal that is square in whatever calc he says he uses. Try to find something along those lines. So the very first thing I would do is I would go to our calcs and I would try to see what the different calculators have to say about this deal. As it stands at face value right now. So the first thing I'm going to do is go to DTC, DynastyTradeCalculator.com right here, and I'm going to punch in the trade. So this is where we're at right now. Peirce, Bateman, Mac for 223 first. DTC says the player side is worth like +3, +4 points. Call it +4 here. Very, very even. Only like about a 5% differential here. That's almost nothing. I mean, that's a negligible difference. So, if I was strictly trading off of DTC, this is a trade I might make. Its value in both picks is mids. What we're going to do in this deal, I can already tell you, is I'm going to say one is a late and one's a mid, right? So that's going to kind of split the difference. That's going to say, hey, probably one of those two teams finishes in the top 4. Probably will after I trade him this stuff, and then maybe Risk Taker, gets a go out in the first round of the playoffs or something. He's like a 6 or 7, as far as 7 or 8 in terms of total, where he's picking in the draft. DTC won't let me punch in 23 lates, so like it has each of these at 24. I would say probably the late is worth like 16. That would take a third off. So now we're at 40 to 51. That's kind of a bigger gap, so I don't like that as much. Also, it's real sketchy trading away rookies. Peirce, I'm thinking Peirce is going to be worth more than 3.5 points here pretty quickly. He's a player I really, really like, so moving off of him is not something I'm necessarily inclined to do immediately. Trading away rookie receivers early in their career like this is pretty sketchy. If you've watched my bad trades video, you'll see that you can have real bad times if you're doing that with some of these rookie receivers. So this is a trade calculator I don't use too often. This is Dynasty process. What you want to do is go right here. We're going to set this to 2 quarterbacks. Bobbity boopy. Valuation factor. I really don't use this one very often. I just started using it. So future pick value. This is tuned up. Maybe I'll tune it down to like 85 instead of 90. All right, rookie optimism. I'm pretty optimistic on rookies. There's also a rookie involved in our deal currently, so we'll leave that high. 65. Maybe we'll turn it up a little bit. These sliders don't really affect the trade that much, but we'll take a look at it. Add players to Team A side. So what are we at? We got Mac Jones. We got Bateman, right? Rashod Bateman. And I think Alec Peirce was in there. Yeah. Okay. And over here, type in 2023 late first. 2023 mid first. Okay. Close. And alright, right, run this trade. Calculate. Bang, bang. Okay, what are we even looking at here? Like I said, I never use this calc. Looks like my player side is worth 4,400 and the pick side's worth about 4,000. So about 10% differential in favor of players. And that's right where I'm at with it as well. Again, Peirce is being just criminally undervalued at 230 points. So this gap is bigger than 470 points. This gap's probably closer to like 800 or 1,000 points, so like 20% of the deal. So we got to do something to even this thing out. I really like spamming calculators just to really get a good view. And KTC is just another calculator out there that you can use, another tool you can use in your day-to-day life. Mac Jones, Rashod Bateman, and what were we at? Alec Peirce. So KTC's got, of course, the three-player side, a good chunk, 12,000 to about 10,000. So this is pretty significant differential here. This thing that says I could add Khalil Shakir to the deal, and that would even it out, which is actually kind of ironic because the dude has Khalil Shakir on his team. Will does right here. So maybe that's something we can do. I'm not exactly sure how I want to counter him. I definitely am owed something in this trade. There's a bit of a QB tax involved, okay? And that's something I'm trying to capture in the deal. We're talking. This is an established league. We're done with the draft, so this is an established league now, and he's trying to trade for a quarterback from me. A starter that I think is safe for at least the 23 season in Mac Jones, probably and beyond. A young guy, a top half of the first round pick, the New England Patriots starting quarterback. And if I make a deal with him, I'm going to go down to 2 QBs. So there's tax involved in that beyond what the calculators say. And I want a deal we make to capture that. It's hard for me to just reach in there and ask for one of his starting receivers since I'm trading him a starting receiver. So I'm not really trying to make some swap with him. We're like, to go from Hollywood to Bateman is an upgrade for you. I don't even know if that's true. They're like the exact same. So how do we get something done here? One plus for the deal is I really like the roster spots I'm gaining. We'll go back to the league itself, the Ghost League, and check this waiver wire out. The waiver wire is kind of loaded in this league right now, trending. You got Kennedy Brooks, Abram Smith, Danny Gray, Kevin Harris, Isaiah Likely, Werdemeyer, Ruckert, Carson Strong, K. Dot, and a lot of guys, a lot of pretty good guys on the wire. Definitely people who should be rostered, players who should be rostered. And I can't roster them. My roster is just so full. Maybe there's some people that you guys would cut, like Westbrook and Keena, but I'm not trying to cut anyone right now. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to do with this thing. I really don't know how to counter him here. So I want the roster spots. Going back in here with Will. And then finally we can look at the Dominator. It's a really popular trade calculator sponsored by Roto World. And I think this kind of encapsulates where I'm at with the deal. This is, I don't necessarily like the Dominator that much, but this is where I'm at with it. Where I think Mack and Bateman as a pair are worth more than the 2 picks. And that margin they're worth more is whatever this is, 20%. And, if whenever I tack on Alec Peirce onto this, it just makes me in a bigger hole. And, the roster spots carry some weight. These roster spots represent about 10 points each in this calculator. So if you were to remove those, it'd be 338 to 308. It's a 10% differential there. I don't like paying for roster spots. These usually something you just get in the deal. It's part of the plus side you get for having to wait a year on your return. I don't. How do we get a deal done with Will 102632? I'm not going to try to ask for a quarterback back. I know what he's trying to do without even talking to him. I know he wants to go to 3 quarterbacks, and I do want to facilitate that. James Conner's jumping out at me as maybe I should ask for him back in the deal. I don't really like Connor that much. I don't really want to pay to get Connor in any way. I mean, Ramondre is interesting to me. You know, I don't think just throwing a 23 second round pick in there actually gets anything done. I like Jelani Woods. As you can see, my tight end situation is a bit unsettled. Fant Henry, and OJ Howard. So, just top of my head, I'm thinking, I don't know. I really don't know. I'm not afraid to give him Peirce. Am I afraid to give him Peirce? Am I afraid? I'm not afraid. I just don't want to do it. Um, I think Peirce is going to grow. So trade maybe has to reflect that. I need to be getting the slightly plus side in most calculators in order to complete this deal. And that's not me being greedy. That's, like I said, the quarterback tax that's baked into this. Also, the fact that I'm going to move a receiver. Um, I'm trying to not send him Bateman and Mack for 2 firsts. I really don't want to make that deal. I want to get more. So I think what I'm going to offer him, Keontae Ingram is interesting. I could certainly use the running backs. He's got Connor though. He's not trying to split that pair up. He's going to want both those guys. Marlon Mack is interesting. Um, like, do I want Shakir even? I'm almost more interested in Romeo Dubs than Shakir. In fact, I think I am. I have Christian Watson. Having Dubs would be a nice hedge. Where did he take Stevenson? That's what I'm wondering right now. Because that's who I'm probably going to ask for back in this deal. Where are we at? The Ghost League. This is a $100 league, by the way. If you're wondering what the terms are of the league we're working in here. Will. Where you at, Will? So Ramondre's on his bench right now. Dude took Ramondre in the 13th round. Okay. So that means he's not super high on Ramondre. You might be inclined to move him in a deal. I think I'm gonna counter with like this deal, and then like kind of ask for Stevenson and maybe another player, either Jelani or Dubs. I really don't want to wait on Woods. It's also going to be so expensive to try and get Woods off of him. Also, I don't really care about my tight ends. Or Shakir. Or KJ Osborne. One of these receivers is probably what I need. I just can't decide who I personally like more, to be very frank with you right now. Shakir and Dubs are like super similar. He took I had 304, 301. Yeah, I think I'm gonna ask for. Boy, it's tough, man. It's tough. I don't know what I want to do. I'm trying not to get overzealous because I'm making a video about it. I'm gonna counter him. I want Ramondre. Ramondre's in the deal as far as I'm concerned. So this is what I want, and then I need more. I need a little bit more. I don't even think I want either of those two players. I think I'm just gonna throw the second round pick in there. And maybe he's not going to be inclined to do that. Maybe I have to ask for a 24 second. Just because, dude's not going to be feeling this deal. It's tough, man, because, like, Mac is, you know, Mac's starting quarterback, man. And, he's he's not going to lose his job, I don't think. I mean, I've been rostering Bailey Zappi in most of my leagues. I mean, that's just an interesting hyper dart. That's not anything real or tangible there. Just kind of dabbing around because I'm not sure what to do. I'm still thinking about it. Huh. I'd like to get Jelani. I think it's going to be tough to get him off of this guy. I'm going to send it like this. I mean, that's a 5 for 3. I mean, we're talking about, I said he's not way off, and he really isn't. I'm going to send it like this and see what he says. I'm prepared to cut, Jelani or the second out of the deal, I guess. He's probably going to counter me back and ask for a tight end, and then I'm just going to drop Jelani Woods out of the deal and resend it that way, and then we'll probably make a trade. That's what I'm projecting happens here. He's going to try to ask for a tight end from me. He's going to ask for Fant or Henry. I'm going to say, we can just drop the tight ends. And, it'll be Ramondre, 2 firsts and a second for Mac, Bateman, and Peirce. Which, depending on how you feel about Ramondre, is a pretty good deal. The picks are interesting. This is my preferred calculator, so this is kind of the one I default to. We'll punch in Jelani Woods. And then what did I threw a 23 second in there. 68 to 51. Like I said, I'd value one of these down at 16, so you could take 8 off of that. So 60 to 52. And then Peirce is worth a little more, probably at least 3 or 4 more points in this. So talking 60 to 55 as far as the way I'm actually seeing this trade, which means I'm winning by I don't know, not even 10%, which is about the plus I'd be hoping to get. I probably need more than that, honestly, but this is good. Adding 223 first at the same time in a deal has value. That definitely has value in his favor, and that's why I'm really inclined to make a trade with him. You're talking about a sixth of the whole draft I'm acquiring in one move. If we complete a deal here, I own half of the 23 first round, and this deal doesn't. I have aspirations to be competitive in this league. I do, but this deal doesn't necessarily squish my hopes. Of being. Yeah, oh, he completed it. He took that deal as is. There you go, guys. We just made a trade. I sent him Alec Peirce, Rashod Bateman, and Mac Jones. I acquire 2 23 first round picks, a 23 second round pick, Jelani Woods and Ramondre Stevenson. So I gain a single roster spot in the deal, which has minimal value. Good deal, man. Good deal, friend. I thought there'd be more negotiation we could cover, but he just took it. I'm cool with it. Let's run it back in some of these other calculators. Let's see what they have to say. This is the KTC calc we were on. We'll take Mac. We'll put in. Who do we have? Ramondre Stevenson in there. Also picked up Jelani Woods. Also picked up a 23 second. It's his own second, so we're not going to get greedy. We'll just call it a late second. Well, do they even value? No, we'll call it a mid then, I guess. So KTC says I'm winning by 5,000 points. That's a rot. I don't know about that. What happens if I turn this up? If I turn this down? Even at their lowest pick value rating, I'm still winning this trade pretty significantly. So we'll get out of that. Let's run it back in the process here. Just to... I always try to circle back into all the calcs that I was using at the time to see what these deals look like. So I don't know, maybe I'll regret giving up Peirce. I'm definitely cooling on him a little bit. Not necessarily cooling like I don't like him as much, but he's kind of slipping down on my second round board. Just because there's other guys I like. I think Malik Willis might have jumped over Alec Peirce in my mind at this point. I'm morphing the two sides of the trade together. Please come out, Jelani Woods. Okay, so that's what we gave up. Mac, Peirce, and Bateman. Maybe I'm too high on Woods. I don't know. And Stevenson's certainly a risk. I need to add some running backs to this team. I kind of hate trade for running backs midseason, but It always comes back to I want these two 23 first. I mean, that's why I'm making this deal. 23 late, 23 second. We'll call it a late second. Mid, late, Stevenson Woods, late second. Valuation factor. Is this where it was? Rookie optimism. 60's fine. Future pick value. What was this at? I think when we ran it the first time, it was at like 85. Yeah, we'll just leave it at there so we can get an honest gauging. Alright, calculate the deal for me. Dynasty process says in favor of Team B, 6%. So 4,700, 4,400. So Team B is my side. I'm winning by 300 points. So that would bump Alec to like 500 something. Meh, not bad. I mean, there's a lot more value potential in this deal. I'm valuing this as a late second. If it's an early second, it jumps up to a lot higher, 163. Like, you gotta think this 23 second and Peirce are gonna wash each other out. Um, the mid first and Mac kind of wash each other out. Maybe I get a higher upside player than Mac, and then Bateman in the late first. It's interesting. And then I get Jelani Woods and Stevenson on top of that as kind of the sweetener, as the juice. Not the best trade ever, certainly, but I'm down for this deal. I if I send a deal out, then I'm down to make a trade, and I did so, and I am. Yeah, this works for me. I think I'm at 134,997. We're gonna refresh and see if Dynasty Ranker wants to put it back up. Oh well, so now this is based off KTC, which said I was winning the deal, and now I'm even more juiced up. Some other fun juice in this trade for me is, if some goofy swap does happen where Zappy takes this from Mac somehow, I don't think that ever occurs. Don't get me wrong. Then this trade is just insanely good for me. So that's cool. I don't know. We made a trade, boys. We made a trade. How long did that take? It took almost a half hour to make that trade. All right. I want to get into the Universal Experts Elite Dynasty League, but I think I might just call it there and call this a video and then start up another recording and make another video on the Universal League. In fact, I think that's what I'm going to do. So it took a half hour to make one trade, but I was able to walk you through my process. It's a nice looking team you have, Will. It certainly is. It certainly is. There's also big upside if one of these teams does flake. I mean, any team can flake. Okay, like he's strong here with Brees, McCaffrey, Cup, more. Like this team could just fall on its face. I mean, all it takes is another McCaffrey injury, and for Brees to not be what we think. Risk taker. Maybe Deshaun spend it for a good chunk. Javante. I mean, we'll see if he can put up these types of numbers. So we'll see on that. Yeah, like risk taker team could fall on its face, maybe. If either of those picks end up in the top four, it's a slam dunk home run for me. So it's interesting. I'm gonna call it there. 28 minutes. If you're interested in the Universal Experts Lease Dynasty, check out my next video, which should be uploaded immediately after.